unless I've got someone to go with me. So at the moment I'm fishing, I'm down, so I was take 3. Hello everyone, I am back fishing. I'm down the pit. I did last night. I haven't been fishing for a while, so I made the most of like having a bit of time off to myself, and I'm fishing this whole week. As I said, I did last night. I had 4 fish and I lost 1. Biggest fish was £18.4, which is brilliant, and it was a mirror as well, because I've had 2 mirrors from this lake, and both have been quite small, about 10-12 pound. So to have a bigger one was nice, but it was just a nice fish altogether. I had sort of like a mad hour and a half last night where I had like 3 fish on solid bags from the open water, one after another. And then this morning I had one on the right hand rod down the margin, which was another mirror. So you know, that's all good. I'm really happy. Wasn't keen on this swim at first because there was a lot of weed in the shallows, so I'm fishing the shallows. There's been a lot of weed up. The heat has managed to kill it off, but there's still weed beds. And I know this swim onwards is really bad with weed beds, and I wouldn't really feel comfortable, and I didn't really feel like the fish were going to be here. But my preferred swim that I've been fishing a bit lately, someone was fishing. And I got down here about 12 yesterday, and I weren't going to wait all day for someone to leave or anything like that, so I thought I'll just sit up in this swim and we'll see how it goes. But now that I've caught and I'm comfortable that I've had fish from the swim, I'll be staying here until I go home on Wednesday, and then I'm coming back Thursday until Sunday for another 3 nights. So I'm making the most of it this week. So yeah, I think I'm going to see how the rest of today goes, see how tonight goes, and hopefully I'll have a few more. But I will keep you updated as always, and enjoy.
With no bobs. Bobless. 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 My name is Johnny. You know what it is, black and yellow. Through your London bar.
Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Today is Thursday, so yeah, the wind's blowing that way, and there are people fishing down in the corner, which is called Church Corner, and there is someone fishing in the swim I was in last time, which is a bit of a pain because I was hoping to get back in that swim, but I mean it's not so much of a problem. So I've instead come a few swims down that I've fished before as well. I've done some pike fishing here in the winter, and I have done some carp fishing in the swim. And it's 2 swims. One of them is really tight to get a brolly up. I actually managed it on a previous session where I had a 23 uncommon at the margin. I managed to get a brolly up. Again, if you've seen my social media, It was a squeeze, but I did it. But because I'm here for 3 nights, I wanted a bit more luxury. So I've gone in the left-hand side of the 2 swims so that I'm fishing the bigger swim, so my brolly can be up in it. I'm fishing locked up on my right-hand rod with a solid bag. That is dumping the inline lead, and I'm using the Ridge Monkey swivels to do so. I'll show you all that later. And that is just fished up towards where the lilies are. And then on the left-hand rod, I was hoping to fish the margin, but this swim's not really got a great margin this side. It's kind of hard to get to, and I don't have waders with me. So I've just put it out in front of me because I know that the fish patrol this area quite a lot. So far I have lost one. I lost a little common. I mean, I think it was the weed. I brought back quite a lot of... I could see that there was quite a lot of weed, and I'm guessing the weeds just kind of interfered too much because my hook was buried in it. Which, okay, I've lost one, that's a shame, but it happens, it does. Like I said, I was fishing with Jack the other 2 days, and he lost quite a few. So it happens. I'm just hoping I can have a few more now. It was raining when I got here, which was annoying because I got soaked. Hence the t-shirt hanging up behind me to try and dry off. Yeah, I got soaked, but now it's just quite nice and sunny, so I'm hoping we don't get any more rain and it kind of stays like this. It's cooled down quite a lot, and I think that's what's making them feed, because it's nice. It's a nice weather. It's good fishing weather. That's why the other day we hit it off, because it was just perfect weather for them. It really was, and I was lucky that I could be out in it. I have been brought up fishing club lakes. They're fairly cheap and they've got a lot to offer for families, because if you don't know, I go fishing with my mum, my dad, my dog and myself. So us fitting on a syndicate or like lakes like that where there's a lot of big fish and you're chasing big fish will be hard. A lot of them don't allow dogs. They're expensive and they have certain ticket numbers, so it might mean that we don't all get on. My style of fishing is that I just want to have fun. My mum's is the same, and my dad's just happy as long as he's got tea in his hand and some biscuits. He doesn't care where he's fishing. As long as he's got tea and biscuits, he's fine. So to start off with, I have been using inline leads because that's what I use with solid bags. That's primarily what you use. I'm using flat leads that I drop my leads. There was quite a lot of weed up over the last few weeks on this lake. I'm fishing the shallow end and there was a lot of weed. The heat we had, where we was going over 30 degrees, has killed off most of the weed that was kind of the top layers of the water, because it's only about 4 foot here. But when you get lower down in the water, there is still weed there. So I've been dropping my inlines just to get rid of some extra weight in case the fish does get weeded up, and I've been bringing in a lot of fish that have a lot of weed on the line. So by getting rid of the lead, it's just something extra that could go, and it's not getting tangled up in weed, and it's a bit of weight gone, and it kind of gives me a straight connection to the fish, so I can just control it better. To drop my lead, I've been using the brilliant new RM Tech QC inline swivels by Ridge Monkey. I've never dropped an inline lead before, apart from now when I've got these. These are great. They do aid me to drop the lead, and they're just very effective. I'm not dropping it every time because some fish, like a tench, I've had 2 tench, don't need to drop the lead. They come straight in and they're done. Whereas some of the bigger fish, where they like the carp, where they are going through that weed and they are trying to get off the bottom, like down to the bottom, and they're trying to like get away from you, I will want to be dropping lead. I'm using a small section of lead core leader on my fluoro, purely because I don't want the fluoro grating against the lead with risk of it breaking. Lead core leader is just like a little bit stronger, so I can have that on there, and it does just splice straight onto the swivel. Like I said, these are really great. Then with that, the actual rig is primarily quite short. I do make my solid bag rigs quite short. They go in a solid bag. You don't necessarily want a long piece of rig material in your bag with risk of it all getting tangled. And I use braid because, again, it needs to be able to be a bit more flexible to move about in that bag. The soft braid hook link camo is £25 from Ridge Monkey. This is really lovely stuff. But yeah, it's soft, but it's really strong, and I've had all my fish on this with solid bags. Total confidence in it. Some people do frown upon using braid for the fact that it might fray or something. I have no problem. If I do start to notice though that it's starting to get a bit bad, I'll just type a new rig, because that's as easy as that. And then hook wise, I'm just using the size 6 curve shank barbed hooks from Ridge Monkey. I don't really use curve shank hooks quite a lot. This is like this and multi rigs, like the only time I use curve shank hooks. My other choice of hook would be straight point on most other rigs. I just use it for this because I like the hook pattern for this particular rig. These are lovely, size 6, because okay, I'm catching a few small fish, but primarily I want to be hooking the bigger fish. And then bait wise, I'm just using some imitation dumbbells. I could use a boilie or something like that, but with these, they're always on the rig, they're always fresh. You don't have to worry about changing them, they're there. You don't have to worry about counterbalancing them either, because they're slow sinking. They just fall to the bottom and sit there and wait for a fish to come along. I've been using the brown one, I was using the orange one the other day. Colour I don't think is a big deal, because it's just sitting amongst loads of bait and the fish is just going to pick it up. It's not choosing what it wants, it's just coming along and taking the whole lot. And then the last thing of this rig would be the anti-tangle sleeves, which go over the swivel. These are 25mm ones from Ridge Monkey. These are the shorter version. I could use the long ones, but because I'm using a fairly short rig, I want the movement, and with the long anti-tangle sleeves, I won't get as much movement on that part of the rig where the lead is. And that is pretty much all I'm using for my rig. Like I said, it is really simple, it doesn't need a lot.